Hi everyone, it's Mikael. Today we're going to learn together the rotor, some tosses, and some martial arts movement to include in our spin. This tutorial is going to be divided in three parts. First, the rotor, then some tosses, then we will go to some martial arts movement and body tracing to add to our spin. We're going to start by the rotor because it's an essential movement if we want to go further into tossing, and it's also the missing part now into our full spinning around the body. We know how to connect in front, but now if we want to keep it in front, we need that movement. And we'll see also just after how to apply to make it on the horizontal plane. So the rotor, we're gonna go there step by step. Please go slowly to really understand the motion. Then you're gonna be able to go faster and faster. It's also like a trick when you master, then you can really increase the speed and the effect, even though it's a simple trick, especially with fire, is really powerful. So, to break it down, here I'm going to start with one hand above the center, you can see, and I'm going to turn my hand till I can't anymore, and I'm able to catch, but now my hand is below the center point. And I do the same, I let the staff fall into my hand till I can't anymore, till my other hand can come and catch it. And if I always let the middle free like this, I can keep a better balance and it's easier to come and catch close to the center point. I always try to go till the end of the movement before catching it with the other hand. And here you see that I'm starting the motion from top, but I can also go in the other direction and start from down. It's exactly the same. On the down part, you can also see that the staff is rotating in between my finger and my thumb and my index till it can't anymore. And it's really important that you let the staff go the full spin with, then you catch. For the other hand, here you can see also that the staff is slightly going on my hands and I have a bit of contact there. Then I catch back. It's not necessary, but you can see that it's kind of happened naturally. That the center point is now after on the slice of my hand, and this is the moment where I'm grabbing with my other hand to go back there. And you try to go slow, then when you will feel comfortable, you can increase the speed of the movement. And of course, we learned that in both directions. The next step is going to be to include some toss into that motion. So before we go there, please repeat that motion till you feel really comfortable with it. It's important to have something stable and not too dangerous when we're going to add some toss. First, it's not necessary to do some crazy toss of few meter highs, and probably if you are learning this video at home, you don't have that such high ceilings, but it's okay, because you can also learn to toss in a low level, then later feel more comfortable to toss higher and higher, because you need to be comfortable also with the number of turns, the staff will do in the air before you catch it back. So let's take it step by step and let's get comfortable with that. So we're going to use exactly the same motion as the rotor. I'm spinning here, like this is like the first one we did with going down between the thumb and the index. But as soon as now I see the center in my hand, we're still in between my thumb and the index. This is the moment with my palm facing the sky. This is the moment where I choose to toss the staff in the air. I'll do it again. See the palm? Toss, catch it back with the other hand. Pretty simple. And the other motion will be to do exactly the same, but when the staff is about to reach the slice of the hand, here, round about that moment, this is where I'm bringing my hand in the air to toss the staff and catch it with the other hand. It can happen also when it's on the flat of the hand, which is fine also. And it's important to try to imagine a straight line where we are tossing the staff, otherwise it might go diagonal. For the moment, let's try to do a straight line in front of us and try to catch from one hand to another and to do this little drill till we can do it fluently and from one hand to another like this. Now I'm going to offer you two drills to work on. We're going to also give you so much more reflex and safety in the way you spin, because if the staff going to fly away, you're going to be able to catch it back into a spin. The first one will be now, instead to go from one hand to another, and so from the up toss and the one from below. Now we're going to try to just use one hand and keep the same motion continuously. For example, we're going to take the one where it's going on the slice of the hand here. Toss, catch it back. And so here you can see the staff is doing a full turn till I can catch it back exactly in the same position. So this asks you to put a tiny bit more power in there. It's a bit more risky, but it becomes quite fun. And then you can even keep it almost at the same level, and you can spin with one hand. It's the rotor is just with one hand. And obviously, you can do exactly the same with the other motion. And obviously, from both hands. Need to work on this one. Your second drill will be to include it into your full figure of 8 we learned at the previous video. So here, normally where we just pass it to go in the full figure of 8, at that moment we will just include a toss. So it can be, you see my hand is going really in the middle, I'm still respecting the same line. Here I'm starting with a front spin, toss, catch it back, now I'm on the back spin. And same here from the other side. So you try to go from a back spin to a front spin by using now a toss as a transition every time you are in front. Okay, now that we worked around the vertical rotor and we are even including spin in there, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but now, as probably your first trick, on the horizontal plane. So it's going to be exactly the same motion, but above our head. So you can also take a look when you do it at the beginning, because it can be a bit scary and challenging, but it's exactly the same. I will also show you a video, like a view from above, so you can see. But it's exactly the same motion. So try to feel comfortable to do it both direction, and like this you can keep the staff spinning in front of your head, above your head. And if you feel brave enough, you can also include into this a toss. This is a bit more scary because you can directly see the staff falling on your face, but it's also quite some fun. You don't need to make it go too high, and you can just catch it back and stop. But that's also a fun game to play with. And here to toss, what I'm doing is then I let my palm face the sky and just push in the air. Not too far, especially if you have low ceiling, but enough that I can catch with the other hand straight away. The movement I'm going to show you now are on itself not really complicated, but visually are really nice, and they can also be used as a transition between the horizontal plane and the vertical one. And also they're easy to learn, so it's definitely worth it. So I'm coming here from my horizontal rotor, and here when I catch the staff, you can see like this is facing in front, my turn is going behind me. I'm just simply opening to the side. See, the staff is in a line with me here. So we just do a few repetitions so you can see. And this, I name it as like a Marshall motion because it's actually a movement of strike. It's like if you were hitting someone directly like this. And so, it's a direct connection here from the rotor we just learned, but now we can also connect it to what we already know. When you're on the side, it's just the perfect moment to switch from horizontal plane to a vertical plane. And so that can add a tiny bit more visual diversity into your plane, and also can be an interesting dynamic to a really similar motion is also existing, but on the belly level and not on the above our head. Here you can see that the center point of my staff is really far from me. It's almost like 25 centimeters far. My staff is open to the side, and I'm going to simply bring the center point to my belly button and catch it back. This is also a movement that you see normally a lot in martial arts. And this one can be good to use because we can connect it to the movement on top, and you can start to have also some nice movement to add on the level of your belly. Now I'm going to show you this movement that I'm doing to go from up to down. Okay, now for this transition around the body to come back up, what we're going to simply do is when we are in this rotor motion, I'm spinning, like to go in that direction, but now my hand will then drop down behind my back, then coming back up. To show you from back. I spin, go behind my back, coming back up. Pretty simple, but it feels quite nice, and you can use it as a transition here to go back up and down and start to add some horizontal plane in your plane. And that's it for this tutorial. I advise you to try to bring all those pieces together, to feel comfortable to go from one to another, also to go in this figure of 8 stop, going into this horizontal plane, going back to vertical, and have fun with it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I always welcome any kind of feedback. For more content like this, you can check on the description below the link to my Patreon page. And I see you in the next one.